Hello and welcome back to Spirit Mom. Today's Spirit School, we're going to discuss physical things that can help our spiritual life. Now, some of these things are taking physical things and some of these things are not taking physical things. There are three things I have identified as vital keys in our awakening, things to help with our awakening. First on the list is not eating meat. I know. It's a big issue, and a lot of you that are probably already watching my show might already be a vegan, because vegans were a big part of the push towards awakening us, because eating the tragedy that's in the meat is terrible. When you, and I'm not getting preachy here, stay with me. This isn't shaming you, and this isn't preaching my lifestyle, because I'll tell you right now, I'm not a vegan. I am vegetarian successfully for a month now, but trying to be vegan has always failed for me because milk byproducts are in everything, and I would let the shame knock me out of the whole path. So what I've decided is, because I don't want to eat meat, is to just go back to good old-fashioned vegetarianism. I'm just going to be a vegetarian, which I've never actually tried to do. I've always stuck to, I have to be vegan, I have to be vegan, because it's a noble path. I'm not putting down vegans. It is a noble path. I do find sometimes they can scare people away by shaming them, and it even would scare me away with the shame I would feel by, and I don't even eat dairy. Like, I've always been non-dairy, and that's my own stomach issues. So I'm already non-dairy, and then I'm already not eating meat, but I was failing at being a vegan because stuff has milk byproducts and mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise, and there's eggs in it. And I would even used to like eating eggs, but I stopped eating eggs too. So I'm very close to being a vegan, but not quite. I don't get that label because, and I don't even eat mayonnaise a lot, but I eat it, so you fail. If this the problem with veganism is honey, which I don't even eat because we'll get to that point later about sugar, but it's really hard to be a vegan. So back to what I was originally saying of why you do not want to eat meat. It's not about shame. It's not about watching the movies of the sad cows, and it's not even about supporting bad industries, even though all that's true. You're supporting evil industries. You're supporting the torturing of the cows. Those are all external factors. Let's take it to a selfish level, because I'm all about the spirit here. It's Spirit Mom. When you eat the soul of a dying, scared, terrified animal, you embody and take on the soul of a dying, scared, terrified animal. That becomes part of you, and they wonder why we all have anxiety now, because of the process animals go. You can say we always ate animals. Not like we do today. It's horrifying. So then you have these people that are talk about hunting, and if you like how the natives did it, how they, like Aboriginals, how they would hunt it and say a prayer over the animal before they ate it. Sure, you want to go do that, go ahead. Go hunt down an animal yourself. Say a prayer over it before you kill it and before you eat it, and go ahead and eat your sacred meat. There's probably ways to sacredly eat meat if you're that wanting to eat meat. But let's be honest here, 99% of the meat we can get our hands on, and if you want to be able to actually afford it, is not that way. Even at a good old-fashioned farm, they're still scared before they die. They aren't like whispered and serenaded. They're not saying prayers over them. The process is still horrifying. It's not a beautiful, ceremonious situation like it can be. So this isn't shaming you, and this is acknowledging that yes, meat has a lot of vitamins. Yes, meat's the only place to get B12 unless you want to take it artificially. Meat has all these different, zinc and copper and iron. And yes, I've been keto too. I've been keto for a big time, trying to be healthy. And yes, I lost a ton of weight on ketosis, but we're not talking body health here. But look, do I look unhealthy? No, I'm still healthy being vegetarian. Very healthy, actually, extremely healthy. Because now I already ate very little meat before this. For the last few years, I've been trying to be vegan, but I kept failing. I have O blood, and O's are supposed to live off meat and nuts. That's it. That's like it for O blood. A's and B's, and then the combo, you guys get more options. But us O blood people, we're supposed to just be carnivores, essentially. So I'm coming at this from I know it's hard not to eat meat. And I don't even it's not even a delicious thing. I've been off cheeseburgers and fast food for eons because I'm gluten-free. So now I'm a vegetarian and gluten-free because people say, oh, it's unhealthy because you switch to the carbs. No, you don't. Because I can't eat, I literally can't eat carbs. I don't have wiggle room with that one because I'm allergic to gluten. And you would be too if you quit gluten for a while, you'd find out you're allergic to. But I already did an episode on gluten, so I'll leave that there. My point here with vegetarianism is, yes, there's a lot of blah about health and this and that and the other, but we're in an ascension period. You need to rise up your soul, and you can't afford to have the dead, dying, scared animal in your aura. Simple as that. I'll leave that one there because this is a topic you could talk about for days. We're gonna just jump over the health points. There's lots of supplements you can take to fix the in the middles. There's lots of proteins. There's just so many different things you can do without eating the dead, dying, the dead, dying, scared animal. Its soul is with you always. And if you're a person that eats a lot different meat, you get a bucket of chicken from KFC. You're probably eating 12 scared and dying chickens. Think about how if you get a bucket of just legs, one chicken doesn't have 10 legs. You're eating a bunch of different dead, dying, scared animals. They're flooding your aura. You wonder why we all have anxiety. Repeating myself, because this topic can go on forever. Stop it with the bad souls. We want pure, refined, ascending souls in our aura, right? So our next point, kind of the same thing, except it's not dead, dying, and scared. It is going to make us scared though, and that is sugar. Especially artificial sugar, but unfortunately, even honey will do it. Fruit is actually all right because when you actually eat it, not fruit juices. When you actually eat it, your body can break it down slowly. But there's actually a lot of rules when you're eating fruit, because if you eat it when you're eating other food, it digests first and then it ferments and goes bad and it's toxic in your system. If you mix fruits, if you eat citrus fruits with other fruits, it does similar things. They break down differently and become toxic. So fruit actually has a lot of rules with eating it. Basically, you want to eat it all alone. Don't eat it near anything else. Wait a couple hours, let it work through your system because it digests really quickly and moves right through you. This is why being a fruitarian is a big thing. I've also tried that, which that one's great. If I can manage to be a fruitarian, that'd be great. But I live in the north and fruit is not necessarily an easy thing to deliciously get your hands on. Thanks to globalism and trades, we do have a lot of fruit, but usually it's sour and out of season and just ugh. So we have to think of different things to do. It makes it harder to be a fruitarian when you're in the north. But if you happen to be around an equator, go ahead and try to be a fruitarian because that is one of the best diets you can actually ever be on. But why don't we want to eat sugar? Obviously, it's bad for us. This has been a known thing going throughout the media and the world for a while. But we're not talking about why it's bad for our bodies. This is about our minds, our spirituality, our ascension. Why is it bad for that? Well, because it causes, and I know we've talked about the law of rhythm, but we need to be masters of the law of rhythm and learn to control the dips and falls. Right? Like the ups, the downs, the ups, the downs. Sugar is going to give you lots of them and really quick. And you can't really, I've tried this. I'm going to go into the sugar aware of what it's going to do to me. Like when you decide to have a lot of fun, you're going to know you're going to have a downward spiral after, right? You're going to be like, but you're going to do that aware. You can't really do that with sugar because it mentally alters you. So once you're on the sugar, you can't really control yourself, and next thing you know, you're like, ah! And you can't even get yourself to calm down. And this becomes more apparent the more you try to quit sugar, and then you accidentally, or on purpose, have some, then you're gonna notice. It's really gonna open your eyes to what it does to you. It alters your mind, and when you're altering your mind, you're altering your connection to spirit. And then yes, it's bad on your body, but just think about your mind. We're adults or a very mature child, like I've said before. You don't want to be all over the place. I'm really happy. I'm really sad. I'm really happy. I'm really sad. Bipolarism might just be not for everyone, but sugar issues. So many mental conditions. If you just looked at people's diets, you could fix like that. It's just mind-blowing, the things that are out there in this world that we just don't want to acknowledge. Another reminder, I mentioned honey. Maple syrup will do it too. But there is hope. what I use is raw blue agave syrup, and any agave syrup would do it. Agave syrup does not alter your metabolic state. Your sugar intake inside your body does not spike. It doesn't send off those like meters inside you, but it tastes just like syrup. It tastes just like sugar. So you can use it in any sugar circumstance that you want to sweeten a drink, or just literally maple syrup on your, because I still, even though I'm gluten-free, I make buckwheat pancakes, which are not very good, so I need a lot of syrup. And agave syrup is delicious. It's, if anything, I think it's more delicious than maple syrup. I'm not talking pure maple syrup here, not the, just in case you don't know, because it blew my mind when I found it years ago, that like Aunt Jemima's fake syrup, that's not syrup. That's just a sugar product. That's not even healthy for you whatsoever. That usually $2 a bottle or a little bit more. Real maple syrup will cost you like $10 to $15 a bottle. And maple syrup is healthy for you, just like honey. They are both extraordinarily healthy for you. They have health benefits, but they are going to spike your sugar levels, right? Your glucose is gonna go up in your body. You don't want that if you're trying to remain calm and serene and peaceful, right? There's moments to like cheat if you want to have fun, but what I have found personally is if you cheat a little, you start back up those engines in your mind that make you cheat more and more and more and more. Like ice cream's a really bad one. I used to know I couldn't eat dairy, but I would eat ice cream instead. I would go out of my way to get like almond milk and stuff, but I would eat ice cream because ice cream is extremely addictive. Oh, sugar hits the same part in your brain as heroin. Think about that. And ice cream does it because cream and the sugar together make an extremely addictive thing. So I quit ice cream 6 months ago, and even though I was already dairy-free, I quit anyways because I want to make sure I was off it before the summer, because then that would just be impossible. And luckily, I'm off and I don't crave it anymore, but I won't touch it. I don't even want to smell it because I've tried to get off it before, but you get back on it, it's like, if you were like, it's addictive. Leave it at that. Sugar, ice cream, addictive and very, very bad for you. Dairy is extremely bad for you too, but we're not going to specifically talk about that one today because that one could pretty much fall in the meat category. You want to know about like sad dying animals. Well, you know what's also sad is a baby dragged away from its mother. Well, it screams for the mother and the mother screams for the baby, and then that baby's going to be veal, so it's also a dead dying animal. For years I didn't eat veal. Like, I've never ate veal my whole life. I always knew eating a dead baby was wrong. But it took many years of maturing to realize eating anything that's dead and sad is wrong. And arguments can be made that plants are alive too, but it's not the same. And one day, this is part of our evolution. We're evolving now. We don't need meat anymore. We've come up with substitutes. We don't need meat. One day we will evolve to not eat plants either, just so you know. Because in the higher realms, you don't eat food. They eat energy. That's why negative beings come and eat us. And then I'm hoping positive beings just make their own. I've heard this thing called ambrosia, or there's all these different myths into what the higher beings eat, but they don't eat food, allegedly. Obviously, I haven't been there, that I know, that I remember. I mean, obviously I came from there, but I don't remember it. Do you? If you remember, let me know what they eat up there, because that is fascinating, and I feel like we're being pushed towards that way of being. Like, first we're gonna cut out the meat, right? The dairy, those have to go. And then next, we will cut out more and more and more and more until we're not actually eating anymore. Like, there's things that people fasting, like the sun gazers that don't eat for years, and a lot of controversy there. But we can start with our baby steps of cutting out meat, cutting out dairy, and then for our own sake, cutting out sugar, because we want to stay centered. We want to receive downloads so we can make our own life better, so we can manifest more, so we can have more abundance. To do these things, to be powerful manifestors, we need to have a stable body and a stable mind to focus down that intent and send it forward into the way we want, not the way our sugar high wants, or not the way the dead dying animal soul that's stuck to us wants, right? Okay, our last thing that we can do to better ourselves is to take supplements to help us, specifically with sleep. In the sleep realm, in the sleep world. We can get years worth of soul work done that we would do awake, done in just one dream. And I don't know about you, but I have had problems sleeping my whole life. I've tried actual sleeping pills, but those were too much, and I woke up with like pupils like whoop. So for years and years and years and years, and back when I used to drink, I would use drinking. But then actually that's kind of one of the main things that got me into drinking was I had a really hard time sleeping. And so what I use now, which is way more healthy, first I actually start, I'm not advertising a brand here. First I start with ashwagandha. This is an ashwagandha tincture that I buy, and I just put it in water and whoop, down it goes. It's nice to not take pills for one. A lot of the supplements I try to take are pills, and fun fact there, it's always important to take capsules, not tablets. Tablets have this terrible heating process that basically get rid of everything good and fill it with toxins. Capsules, you're a little better off because they just hold in it, like a little plastic thing that holds in it the actual substance. So ashwagandha though is a tincture, because tinctures are even better. If you can find something in a tincture, which I was a little worried about because it's a tincture made with alcohol, and for years I didn't do them because I didn't want to be triggered back into drinking. Not that I was that level of alcoholic, but you never know, and I was concerned, but it didn't. I've been taking it now for over a year, maybe a little more, and not triggered back in. So that's good, because ashwagandha is great. So it lulls us into sleep, but it is said to have like one of the most magical properties of a herb. I'm actually a certified herbalist, fun fact. Not that I use it much, but I am. And it is one of the most, a magical herbalist, by the way. It is the most one of the most magical herbs. And when you're talking that, you can have like people of different opinions, but in mine, ashwagandha is one of the most magical herbs there are out there for us to actually connect with spirit. So it helps us sleep to a point, and it will help us connect with spirit, which that's what I am all about, because the more we connect, the more it will do a lot of our body and mind work for us. It can really speed things up in the dream world. This is why there's such that push for lucid dreaming, because if you can make yourself do something in a dream, it will change the subconscious like that. It's very powerful. Next, I have valerian root. This one, it's just called valerian, so watch for the labels, but if you look at the ingredients, it is valerian root. So valerian, and they're both organic, because that's, you always want to strive for organic, and especially with pills, they're not too much more. So valerian root, or it'll just might be called just valerian, and ashwagandha are two big things that'll help you sleep. I don't take the ashwagandha every night for sleeping, because you're not supposed to. A lot of herbs you want to watch, because if you take them too long in a row, it can cause its own buildup of blah, blah, blah. So I take it a lot, but not every single night. But the valerian root, it says the same thing, although I do it anyways, because it's way gentler than the ashwagandha. You can feel that. And it just really helps you sleep and stay asleep. So say you wake up in the night because you have to go to the bathroom or something just awoke you, you'll be able to fall back to sleep like that. It's perfect. And it's not like an overwhelming crazy drowsiness, because let's say you took one, but then oops, you can't go to sleep, you're fine. If anything, you just feel like a little mellow, but you're fine. You can still go to sleep. Or you can still stay awake and then go to sleep when you choose. It's great. Like, they're both perfect at helping us sleep, because sleep is very important to attach to spirit. So with that, I will leave you here just to refresh. We for a better spirit, so you can debate what you want about the body, but for a better spirit, you want to stop meat, and then dairy will link in with that, and you want to stop sugar, and you want to start taking valerian root, and then that's if you have trouble sleeping. But even if you don't have trouble sleeping, take ashwagandha. Even if you don't have trouble sleeping, and you can take it during the day. There's people that drink it all day long, but I found it made me like opposite of coffee, not necessarily sleepy, but it is definitely like a downer. So I take it for sleeping only, because it will just open your mind. You feel it when you wake up in the morning. You're like, whoa, that was a ride. We saw some things, and you might not even necessarily remember it. You just kind of have this like, something happened last night. So Good luck, people, and let's bring more spirituality into our everyday life and literally into our bodies / not into our bodies. Like, let's not bring that negative into our bodies anymore. Let's treat this vessel as it's meant to be. It is holy, so everything that goes into it, we should strive that it is holy as well. Goodbye for now, people. Spirit Mom.